If you think that German is only learnt in the classroom, then you're wrong. If you want to further your knowledge of Germany and its language, then you can get away from here and see the country for yourselves. At this school, we're fortunate to have such close ties with the German school, the Realschule Albert-Schweitzer in Mayen, in the Eifel region of the country. 1995 marks the 25th anniversary of this association, with a series of special events being planned. As you'll hear, exchanges such as the annual one to Mayen are fun, interesting and worthwhile. This film simply introduces the exchange to you with interviews with participants from both England and Germany, including the organisers, coupled with film of the 25th anniversary evening, plus a special visit to Mayen and the areas nearby, which you can see on an exchange. Hopefully it will encourage you to have the exchange and enjoy all that it has to offer. With me here is someone who the Germans call father of the exchange. Well known and liked former head of PE, Mr. Howard, who's still known to many here. Mr. Howard, could you tell us how the exchange started?
Yes, I'll do my best. I'll have to go back quite a way. About 1969, I first went over with a group of teachers and stayed in the Mayen area. On the Saturday and the Sunday of that weekly visit, we were put out into families, and I was sent to a family called Coalhouse, who lived in Cottenham. Stayed with him for the weekend, and on the Saturday morning, as part of the tour of the school, went down to the stadium where they have their physical education lessons, or had at that stage, on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
There was a tremendous athletic feeling about the stadium, and games feeling about the stadium. So I talked to the teacher in charge of physical education there, who was a Herr Lobachowski, and said, look, what about an exchange? And we talked at great length, probably about an hour and a half on this. And we decided that we would have a games exchange. That's really, that is basically the quick story of it.
And why did you decide to start the exchange in that area?
Well, I think really, in that area, it was because I was sent to stay with Mr. Coalhouse.
Oh, yeah.
But as regards games, because remember I was head of games in school here, head of PE, and had some tremendous teams about that time, and really wanted better competition for them. So we decided that that would be the way to get the better competition. And those years, the travel abroad with children was not quite as often, and just extra competition, and of course the cultural side did come into it a little bit.
Do you still maintain your links with Mayen?
I go over quite a lot, and I have teachers from Germany come across to stay with me. Very often outside of the exchange, I will have maybe at least one teacher a year come across, maybe with their family.
And how important do you think contacts like this are between different countries?
Well, I think really, you know, you've got to think about that one yourself, haven't you, really? Because it is important. If you stop and you think, and you weigh it all up, and you think of the companionship, you think of the look at other people's culture, and you think of everything that can be gained from it, there's your answer, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it should go on for as long as possible. And, you know, to go into an old cliche, I think if people did understand one another more, visit their countries more, they wouldn't fight in the end, would they?
Many thanks. One other supporter of the exchange is, of course, Mr. Johnson. The link between this school and Mayen is appreciated by many pupils. What do you think it does for the schools involved and students?
An awful lot, and I can summarise this perhaps best under four headings. First of all, by going to Germany, they're learning to speak German in a real environment. They don't have the opportunity to duck out of the situation. If they're going to survive, then they need to speak German. Secondly, it provides an additional experience of travelling abroad. When we get the youngsters from Germany here, they visit many sites of interest, not only in and around North Walsham, but further afield, to the coast, to London, to Norwich, to Cambridge. In the same way, our youngsters going out to visit German students in Germany have the opportunity to see places of interest in and around Germany. Thirdly, it provides an opportunity for some youngsters to leave the family nest,
yes,
to go away and spend some time with a German family, learning the customs, speaking the language, trying the different foods. It takes them away from the home environment, makes them stand on their own 2 feet. And fourthly, and perhaps most importantly, it provides another opportunity to extend friendships. There are people who have been on the exchange a number of years ago who continue to write and visit friends that they met first of all as part of the German exchange. I think it is an invaluable experience to anyone going to Germany or to the Germans coming here.
And do you think that ties like this between ourselves and other countries are perhaps more important today than they were a few years ago?
Very much so. We're in a shrinking world, we have a number of exchanges, and this is a very valuable part of education. Not all goes on in the classroom. It's talking about growing up.
You may wonder exactly how English and German pupils are paired for an exchange. It is, as we are about to see, not a random process. Let's have a look at what exactly goes on in this respect with Mrs. Maguire and Mrs. Bond.
Right, so how do things look this year? Well, there's the usual things to sort out. I've got a request from Lynette to stay with her pen friend, so that's easy.
That's somebody she's been writing to already.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
that's right. Caroline doesn't want to stay with the woman that Frau Jung, with the girl that Frau Jung mentioned, so we have to be careful that she doesn't stay with her. We've got unequal numbers of boys and girls, so one boy and girl have to stay together, so we have to be careful of who we do that to. Some of them have got their own rooms, and some have got to share rooms. So I've made a list here of who can share, who has got to, who's got to have a girl with them if they're a girl, and a boy if they're a boy, and so on. Some have got smoking and preference to be in a non-smoking family, maybe, which they've got to inform.
We've got some who are actually allergic to smoke, and we all get asthma.
Yes, and some are allergic to animals as well, so we've got to be careful there.
To watch the pets.
There's some requests to stay in the same village or town as their friends. Right, that's all on that list as well. Apart from that, we just need to look at the composition of the families involved, with the numbers of brothers and sisters, and see whether it's the right sort of family for them. After that, we go to the interests, which is a bit a long way down the list, but there's so many more important things we have to think about first. So,
Well, they don't always have to match entirely completely with interest. Sometimes it's quite good for somebody from our school to go and stay with somebody with different interests. But we'll have a look and see if we can pair them up roughly. Well, how do things look for Amos then?
well, I put him with Kevin Morse. The birth dates are pretty much the same, so the same age. Family, Kevin has got a sister, Nadine.
So's Amos,
A young sister. The dad is an official of some sort, and Amos's dad works for America, I don't know what he does. Animals, Amos has got a cat, and this one has got pets as well. This boy likes football and tennis, computers and music, but Amos likes football and tennis as well, so that's okay. Yeah, okay. So no problems anywhere, no allergies. Kevin could either share a room with Amos, or Amos could have his own room. Amos says he has to share. So that would work out.
That looks fine. Yeah, well, let's provisionally put
No
those
problems.
two together. Right.
No problems on the back.
At this point, there may well be people who really want to go on the exchange, but are worried about going. Based on my own experience and on those of people you've seen in this film, I can tell you that there's no real need to worry. Mrs. Maguire, often at the forefront of planning the exchange, has to deal with any problems that may arise. What happens if after a couple of days someone finds they really don't like their exchange partner?
It's really very rare for that to happen because we've paired them off very, very carefully, as we've already seen. And they've hopefully written letters and got to know each other before actually coming together on the exchange. But if it does happen, then the teachers are always there, and they must come and talk to the teachers about their problems, and we can always advise and help them.
And what advice would you give someone who would like to go on the exchange but worried about living in a German family?
Don't worry. German families have always been extremely kind, extremely hospitable. They're lovely people, and they'll do their best to make your stay a happy one.
And what would you say to someone else who wants to go that's perhaps worried that they don't know quite enough German to get by?
Relax. You're going to improve your German to make it even better than it is already, and that's what's going to happen. You needn't worry at all, but you will have been prepared. You'll have seen the German assistant in school before you go, and you'll have a nice vocabulary list to take with you.
And thankfully there are very few real emergencies on the exchange. What would happen if, for instance, someone fell over and broke a leg while they were there?
One of us would go to them immediately because after all, when we're on an exchange, the teachers have a 24-hour-a-day responsibility where the children are in our care. We would always go, take them to the doctor, take them to the hospital if necessary, and generally look after.
And after they get back, is there a detectable improvement in their German?
Absolutely. In terms of their confidence, they become far more confident in the classroom. In terms of their motivation, they've been to Germany, they've had a good time, they want to learn German more. And of course, in terms of their achievement, when we examine for GCSE oral exams, we can nearly always tell if a person's done the German exchange or not.
Dankeschön.
Bitteschön.
Bronwyn and Emma are seasoned travellers, having gone on the exchange already. What do you think both of you enjoyed most about going on the German exchange?
Ice cream.
That is a major part for many people.
Yeah, there was an ice cafe in Mayen. Do you remember spaghetti ice? Wasn't that the one with the curly welly bits? Yeah, it's like ice and it's all curly and it's got raspberry sauce on top and then white chocolate on top of that. There's sort of cheese. Really nice.
So what about the specially arranged activities? They're interesting, aren't they?
Mostly. Yeah, they are. Yeah, you had good fun on your trip down the Rhine, didn't you? Well, my pencil case fell in the Rhine. Yeah, and you usually go ice skating as well, don't you? Yeah. And there's the arranged trips, like museums, looking around classes. Helps you learn a lot about the foreign culture.
And what about living in German families? How hospitable are they?
Oh, it's good fun. Communication gets better with the aid of dictionaries.
So what do you think you and other pupils got out of the exchange and will get out of it?
I don't know, it just helps you generally speaking German and putting into sentences. I'm more confident. Yeah. But it's sort of everything we've learned in class and textbooks, is sort of, you can see it in actual context now, yeah.
Und hier sind Frau Jung und Frau Schmidt. How much do you think that the exchange benefits pupils at your school?
Ich glaube sehr viel. Die meisten der Schüler sind zum ersten Mal in England. Das heißt, sie lernen viel aus den Englischbüchern über die Lebensweise, die Bräuche und die Sitten, aber sie kennen es nicht. Und so können sie es kennenlernen und natürlich ihr Englisch verbessern. Sie sprechen ja sehr viel Englisch hier und wir hoffen, dass ihnen das auch dann einen Vorteil zu Hause für das Fach Englisch bringt.
How important do you think it is for students to see and understand about foreign countries?
Ich glaube, dass das immer wichtiger wird, weil jetzt im Zuge der Grenzöffnungen auch junge Leute arbeiten können und leben können, wo sie wollen. Und deshalb ist es ganz wichtig, dass sie schon sehr früh über die Traditionen, die Gebräuche, die Lebensweise in anderen Ländern, hier jetzt in England, dass sie darüber Kenntnisse bekommen.
Okay, danke. Hier sind Sabine und Kevin. Have you enjoyed your visit?
Yes, very much.
And how have you got on with your partner?
Very good. If I don't understand something, she explains to me.
Ah, good. And has anything surprised you while you've been here?
Yes, everything was mixed, the English and the German.
And what did you enjoy most about being here? The visits and things.
Yeah, the trip to Blacking Point because we could see the seals and we could walk at the beach.
And Kevin?
The trip to London because Madame Tussauds was very interesting.
Oh, dankeschön.
Having introduced the exchange and looked at its successful history, let's now enjoy some of the anniversary festivities at North Walsham High School in May 1995. A large party of staff from the Albert-Schweitzer-Realschule, led by its headmaster, Herr Klaus-Peter Wehrwohl, participated in various special events, culminating in an anniversary evening at which guest of honour was Norfolk's Member of the European Parliament, Clive Needle.
Among the first of these events was a bowling evening at which both headmasters were able to show off their abilities in this sport.
You, I, and Tony. And Klaus.
I'm keeping out your wife.
To provide a permanent reminder of the anniversary celebrations, 2 formal ceremonies also were held. Firstly, there was a tree planting, at which Mr. Johnson and Herr Vierwol were joined by 3 of the exchange's founders, former NWHS headmaster Ted Riddle-Smith, plus Mr. Howard and Jutta Grabkowski. Then came a further presentation, described by Jutta Grabkowski.
I'd like to explain what we have brought. This is a flower pot of basalt, also called Mayener Stein. This is what Mayen is founded on rocks, as our partnership. And it was given to me as a present in Mayen, but to give it to George, as he is the founder of the partnership and the pioneer. And we think that basalt symbolizes, as millstones were made of basalt, have been made for many, many years, for many centuries, even sent to Australia, all over the world. We think the basalt symbolizes the energy and the never-tiring activity that we have shown through many years. And we do hope that the plant that would go in there, or that will go in there, we ourselves will plant it, that this will bloom and flourish in the future, like our partnership has done through so many years. George, thank you very much for all you have done for the partnership. Thank you.
Now, the flower pot has been planted up and stands below the office plaque. And so to the anniversary evening, attended by over 100 guests, including not only German and English teachers, but also various other special guests, including past pupils. Among these were Tim Joyce and Udo, exchange partners on the first visit in 1970 and friends ever since. Prior to the start of proceedings proper, Mr. Munn, Mrs. Lambourne and the rest of the school band provided musical entertainment. In his speech, Mr. Johnson focused on the development and benefits of the exchange.
Will always remain. The development that has taken place over those 25 years is the result of hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm of all those that have been involved with the exchanges. Such an event as tonight cannot be allowed to pass without expressing our very special thanks to 2 people in particular. In Mayen, Jutta Grabkowski, the organiser of trips coming to England. And of course, in North Walsham, George Howard. These 2 nurtured the exchanges through their infancy, through their adolescence and the problems, right into now a maturity. On behalf of us all, George, thanks for all the hard work and what you've developed and the success you've achieved over those 25 years. The third person I'd like to thank is the person who organises from North Walsham our current exchanges, Jane Maguire, and of course who's been the leading light behind tonight and the events that have led up to tonight. Her hard work and dedication have made it such a success. Jane, wherever you are. 5 personal thanks.
Herr Vierwol, too, described the success of the link between not just the two schools, but also the two countries.
A team of young and energetic teachers on our schools, and they prepared visit after visit, so that in the end, I think up to now, I tried to work it out, about 750 to 800 pupils must have been involved in the exchanges throughout the 25 years.
Earlier in this film, we heard from Mr. Howard about the exchange's origins. His address contained more on this, including these memories of early visits.
And we went overnight, we went through Rotterdam, I believe it was, and went through Holland, and we had a long journey. And I was reading only a note from one of the youngsters the other day that said when the bus arrived in Mayen, it was very tired, and the exhaust was smoking terribly with black smoke out of the exhaust. In fact, that bus had gone on fire on the way. And you remember that? Gone on fire. I won't tell you which bus it was.
Clive Needle made the final speech, again commenting on the importance of ties between different countries.
And to bring you warm greetings and congratulations from everybody within the European Parliament. And I do feel myself very fortunate to be a member of that body and to have numerous friends there from all nationalities, including many from Germany. And we are very proud in the Parliament of the work that the President of the Parliament for the current period, Dr. Klaus Hensch from Germany, is doing. He has visited Britain many times. I'm hopeful that he will be visiting East Anglia within the next year or so. And he has won many new friends and is doing much to build bonds of friendship and understanding between the nations of the Parliament.
He too made a special presentation to both Mr. Johnson and Herr Vierwol.
In that spirit, Chair, I'm afraid I can't possibly match the bounties that are here, but I have brought one or two just small tokens of unity, which I would like to present to the headmaster of each school, which is the official European Parliament badge, which I brought with me from Strasbourg. And if I may present one to each of the head teachers as the lapel badge, as a token of my support for what you've done, gratitude, and of the unity between them.
With me here is Norfolk's representative in the European Parliament, Clive Needle. Mr. Needle, it must give you a lot of pleasure to be involved and watch a celebration of such a long-standing international league.
I think this is absolutely terrific. I've met a lot of fascinating people tonight, and the friendships that have clearly been built up over the past quarter of a century are quite remarkable. This really can only do good for the people of Norfolk and the people of Mayen.
What do you feel pupils involved gain from such experiences?
Well, I think it's very important that they learn what goes on in the world beyond Norfolk. They gain new experiences, new insights into different viewpoints, and it's something that we very much learn working in Europe, that although we come from different backgrounds, we all have common aims and interests, and it's very important that we work together.
And as an MEP, what do you feel the value is of such links in the modern European Union?
I think that all that can be done to bring people together, to cement peace and freedom and understanding and tolerance between people is valuable. It underpins the work that we try to do. If we get the laws right, hopefully people will benefit from that. And if people can learn to work together and understand each other themselves, it helps us to get the laws right.
Many thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Following the speeches, the audience enjoyed the Weavers Morris dancing group, featuring amongst others Mr. Tackler, Mrs. Barrett and Dr. Lee. Then came more dancing, this time in a ceilidh which closed the evening's proceedings.
Two circles at the end and a right-hand star in the middle. Back the other way.
As I mentioned earlier, a special visit to Mayen with pupils staying in a youth hostel is one of the anniversary events, taking place during Activities Week.
What, on the side one? No idea.
Well, there's 6 here, so
Here we are in
What down there, mate?
the lovely town shop of
Right here, the first stone of the track was laid in 1925, and then it was opened for its first race a year later. There are in fact 2 circuits within one. There's a 4.8 mile southern loop, which doubles as the modern day Grand Prix circuit, and the 14.2 mile Nordschleife, the North Circuit, which has a total of 73 corners and is the longest purpose-built race circuit anywhere in the world. The Nordschleife is open to the public for £5 for 1 lap, that's about 14 marks, and it's also used for testing cars, racing cars and road cars, and the public can use it as we've seen. And there's also the Motor Racing Museum on site. But back in 1976, the great Austrian driver Niki Lauda was very nearly killed in an accident here during the German Grand Prix, and as a result the circuit was deemed too dangerous to hold further Grand Prix, so that was the last one. But the modern Grand Prix circuit, the 4.8 mile one, has been used since for Formula 1. And the circuit is of course founded on Basel.
We're going to have to wait until I get down.
Here we are at a particularly impressive point in the Eifel region, the highest part of that region, Hohe Acht. Behind me you can see the villages of Kessling, Hohenmeinbach behind in the valley over there, and Gammelhofen, the larger settlement over there.
I think next time I write a guided tour, I shall actually write letters.
As far as Sankt Goarshausen. You spell it like, you see the sign directly above us here, Rheinfährer Sankt Goar. Sankt Goar is the place on the other side, and this is Sankt Goar, spelt like that with Hausen on the end, H-A-U-S-E-N. And from Sankt Goar on the other side, we're going to go back up the Rhine on the other side, back up to Koblenz again, and then over to Mayen.
With a stop.
Yeah. Well, they got to, Peter wanted them to say where they'd gone to and from.
Tell them about the Laurel.
And guess what, there's another castle opposite. Tell them about what?
The Laurel.
Oh, and down, if you look left, if you look back down the river, you can...
Now I'm sitting there singing to myself.
Well done, beautiful. Adrian, go on. Brave it, Adrian.
Earlier I mentioned how much fun the German exchange is. Well, here's evidence of enjoyment had by teachers and some pupils on various visits to Germany and at events in this country. Among teachers featured, some more briefly than others, are Mr. Bacon, Dr. Lee, Mr. Peaker, Mr. Speck, Mrs. Maguire, Mrs. Raper, Mr. Tatler and Mr. Hammond. I must warn you that some of this footage is unsuitable for children.
Picture of Bill.
Yeah, look at that big.
Yeah. Eating and drinking video, this is.
Oh yeah, good picture. So, is the actual leave room? Did you get it? This excessive thing. I thought you said it. No, it's too happy.
Yeah.
Green rushes out, what is your 12? 12 for the 12 apostles, 11 for the 11 that went to heaven, and 10 for the 10 commandments, 9 for the 9 Maximus, 8 for the Uranus, 10 the substance in the cut, 6 for the water, 5 the symbol of the behind us.
Mrs. Maguire having a nap with the local. Yeah. Keep there, Jane. Have another little chat with it.
Will I just put it down?
Don't mention moral tongue out. Don't mention moral tongue. Project laziness from someone who isn't even a member of staff at North Walsham High School, stalwart of various events, Mr. Eddie Dean. Now here is Susan Jane Maguire, aged 47, lived in North for 7 years.
Very, very tiny and little. And I'm very... Oh, thank you. Voila! It's me. Hello, Mummy.